react. We're going to turn our focus to Denver. Their pick at 20. Interesting stuff here. Mike T has the Broncos taking running back Omarion Hampton out of UNC, a rare second running back going in the top 20 picks. But these really are two super talented guys. Ashton Jeanty, of course, the other one. The Broncos didn't have a lead back last season. Javonte Williams, who's now a Cowboy, averaged the most rush attempts on the team with just 8.2. The committee of Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime, they ranked in the bottom 10 in rush yards per game. So Denver has not had a running back rush for 1,000 yards since Philip Lindsay back in 2019. Mike, why running back for Denver?
Well, when you look at what Sean Payton's building, guys, it's sort of like New Orleans West, right? They have Bo Nix. They added Evan Ingram. I think, in my opinion, Omarion Hampton could be a lot like Alvin Kamara. Not the 1,600 yards. He's an explosive runner. The 38 receptions. You have to be a three-down back to play for Sean Payton. And when you look at, they lost Javonte Williams. They really didn't replace him. I think he's explosive. He can break tackles. And I think the way Sean Payton wants to control the game field, Omarion Hampton is an unexpected opportunity for them.
Yeah, well, what's going to happen with Bo Nix this year as he enters year 2 is teams are going to say, you can throw on the outside on the perimeter. We're going to challenge you to throw between the hashes. That's what you see from these quarterbacks as they evolve. It's a lot easier to throw on the perimeter when there's less interference and less opportunity for interceptions or negative plays. As a result of that, the Broncos are going to need some easy button drives, and Omarion Hampton would provide them with some explosive runs. A 4.46 40 at 220 pounds. This guy's got some home run hitting juice in him. He's not quite as elusive as Ashton Jeanty, which is why, to me, the conversation is Jeanty and then a big gap to the next running back. But in this year's class, he has that big play potential that was on display over the past 2 seasons at North Carolina. 1,500-plus rushing yards in each of them. Last year, meaning the 2023 season, he had Drake May by his side. There was much more of a threat in the passing game. This past year, North Carolina's offense took a big step back. Hampton shouldered a huge load and still managed a ton of production, despite the fact that the game plan was find a way to slow down 28, and you've got a chance.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Broncos obviously need something. I mean, the fact that they were able to have the success that they had, you know, especially with the rookie quarterback, and get essentially nothing out of their run game like that. And the sheer fact that they have a great O-line, you know, and yet they still could get nothing out of their run game. First off, it just goes to show you that it's not just about the line, right? It's more than that. You know, I just think, you know, it was always one of the more frustrating things to see with the Denver Broncos last season, to see Bo Nix have to be so much more responsible for the run game than I would have liked. I always like to minimize. I like when a quarterback can obviously, of course, be mobile and take off, but when you're relying like on your quarterback to consistently pick up those pieces, that burden. Again, just ask Josh Allen how it's been working out for him. The answer is it has not, right? You put up awesome numbers, you look great, people tell you how awesome of a quarterback you are, but it is brutal to win consistently at that level. And so when you can get a beast of a running back and a reliable running back, and you know, you can start to just get some of these easier drives, easier downs, yeah, it opens everything up. And what I think is so fascinating, I think with Bo Nix, like, I think there is real, you know, a lot more potential to actually, you know, really feed off of like kind of like a RRPO game with Bo Nix and you know, I don't want to just say Hampton, but I guess just like, you know, any like legitimate true running back where you can actually just add another level to this offense and make it that much more threatening. I just think Bo Nix's mobility was so fascinating to see at the NFL level and see it on display and see what he's clearly capable of doing. And when you just give a quarterback of Bo Nix's level and Sean Payton's coaching abilities, you give him enough weapons and obviously a line to work with, what you're going to be able to hopefully see is just a very high IQ, you know, offense. And that's what I'm excited to see. It's not going to be just brute force. It's not going to just be ground and pound and, you know, this and that. Like, it's going to be, you know, high IQ football. It's going to be very smart football. You're really going to be able to watch the games and say, that was coaching. Like, that play was awesome. But you need the players to be able to do it. As much as I think Kellen Moore did an awesome job with a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, more often than not, like you're seeing the bodies more than anything. Same thing even with the Baltimore Ravens and Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Like, very rarely am I like, smart play, that was coaching, awesome, let's go. You don't see it. You see it with Sean McVay. You see it with Kevin O'Connell. You see it with, of course, Andy Reid. And you were able to see it to a degree, of course, with Sean Payton, but like he was limited with what was given to him, right? Like Sean Payton understood I kind of have to live and die by my quarterback a little bit. He is a young guy. We also do have to really rely on our defense. You're limited. Once you kind of start to give him more pieces to work with, you can become unlimited, and like that's the difference here. And we just know this idea, right? Like, but they were saying with Bo Nix about like, oh, like he was kind of taking some of these easier passes and now they're going to force him to kind of throw the ball in areas that can cause a little bit more trouble and this and that. And, I get it, right? Like it's kind of like some of the commentary of like, oh, how do you stop a quarterback? You put pressure on them, and it's like, yeah, of course, right? Like if you can make them uncomfortable throughout the game, you can beat them, and it's like, yeah, of course, right? And if someone like a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow have all day sitting in the pocket, like, yeah, they'll be able to pick you apart. So I don't think it needs to be necessarily heightened or magnified in terms of like Bo Nix struggling with this aspect of his game. I don't really see it that way. I see it more so of the offense as a whole, again, was just so limited. And I just think that the more pieces that they can add to really be able to take this to the next level, they're in such a great position because they have the O-line, they have the defense, they have the coach, they have the quarterback. They just need some weapons. They need a run game, a legitimate run game. You're having bottom run game is like, at this point, if you're going to be a great team and great coach and have a great quarterback, it's like it's inexcusable, right? Like it is. Like at this point, it's like if you're going to be a real team, you can't have a bottom of the barrel run game. Like it's just like it just no. And it's one thing if you just don't run as much, then I understand, but this was like an actual failure to be able to like get the run game going in any measurable way that could actually impact the game positively. And imagine if you just took away a bunch of Bo Nix's numbers, like the run game would be even worse. So I'm excited to see what they can do when they're finally settled at the running back position and actually how they can use that to feed off of Bo Nix and more than just him, them using it to help obviously maximize the passing game, but also help maximizes Bo Nix's mobility as well. Like I'm really fascinated to see what Sean Payton has in store in that regard, if anything at all. Who honestly really knows, but I believe he will. In what capacity exactly, I don't know, but I just think that Bo Nix is such a significantly more versatile quarterback than people realize, and it was potentially a little bit harder to see that. In a way, it was easier to see for me because I could see all the things that he needed to do just to try to get anything going positively. But in terms of what you can see when things are actually settled, the versatility that Bo Nix could bring, I'm personally incredibly excited for. So I could see this team popping big if they do get the draft right, man. And they obviously have the health football gods on their side. I just think, they could absolutely erupt. So, but I'm going to try not to think about that too much right now in March. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos? Would you like this to be a good pick for them? Anyone else you would want instead? I don't have 1,000% super strong feelings on, the draft, where they'll be able to draft someone, what some of the expectations are. So I don't, it doesn't matter to me as much, honestly, but let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.